Night came slowly over the city, like a heavy blanket pulled over tired streets. Cold wind moved between tall buildings, carrying the smell of rain, smoke, and old food. On the corner of a quiet road, near a closed grocery store, two homeless black twins sat on broken cardboard. Their names were Marcus and Malik. They were 14 years old, but life had already made them feel much older. They shared one thin jacket. Marcus wore it first, then Malik, switching every few minutes to fight the cold. Their shoes were torn. Their hands were red from the freezing air. Between them was a small piece of bread they had found in the trash behind a restaurant. They broke it in half without speaking. They were used to hunger. Hunger had become normal. Cars passed by without slowing down. People walked fast, eyes forward, pretending the boys did not exist. This city had millions of people, but the twins had never felt so alone. Malik rubbed his hands together and looked up. "It's going to rain again," he said quietly. Marcus nodded. "It always does." Just then, bright headlights stopped near the sidewalk. A long black luxury car parked close to the twins. The engine stayed on for a moment, then turned off. A tall man in a dark coat stepped out. He looked important, rich, and angry. He spoke on the phone, his voice sharp. He did not look at the twins even once. After a few seconds, he walked quickly into a large glass building across the street. The car door closed, but something fell to the ground. Malik noticed it first. "Marcus," he whispered, pointing. "Look." Near the car tire, lying in a small puddle of water, was a black leather wallet. For a moment, both boys stayed still. Their hearts started beating fast. Marcus stood up slowly and walked closer. He picked up the wallet and opened it with shaking fingers. Inside were credit cards, an ID card, and thick stacks of cash. A lot of cash. Marcus swallowed hard. He had never seen that much money in his life. Malik's eyes went wide. "That money, we could eat," he said. "We could get shoes. A room. Just for one night." Marcus did not answer. He looked at the ID card. The photo showed the same man who had stepped out of the car. The name was expensive, powerful. A billionaire. A man who owned buildings, companies, and things the twins could not even imagine. Sirens echoed far away. A police car passed at the end of the street. Malik's voice shook. "If someone sees us with that wallet, they will think we stole it." Marcus closed the wallet. His hands were cold, but his chest felt hot. "We can't keep this." Malik looked at him. "Why not? Nobody ever helps us. Nobody cares if we live or die." Marcus remembered something. A memory that still hurt. Their mother's face. She had been tired, sick, and weak, but her voice had been strong. She used to say, "We may have nothing, but we will not be bad people." Those were some of her last words before she died. Marcus looked at Malik. "If we take this money, we become what they already think we are." Malik stayed quiet. The rain started to fall, slow at first, then harder. Water soaked their clothes. The wallet felt heavy, like it was testing them. Malik finally spoke, his voice low. "What if he doesn't believe us? What if he calls the police?" Marcus took a deep breath. "Then at least we did the right thing." They stood up together. Across the street, the glass building looked tall and cold, like a wall between two different worlds. Inside that building was warmth, light, and safety. Outside was darkness, hunger, and fear. The twins crossed the street, each step feeling harder than the last. Security cameras followed them. A guard near the door looked at them with suspicion. "Where do you think you're going?" the guard asked. Marcus held up the wallet. His voice shook, but he did not look away. "We found this. It belongs to the man who came in." The guard stared at the wallet. Then he stared at the boys. His eyes were hard, judging. "Wait here," he said. The glass doors closed behind him. Marcus and Malik stood in the rain, cold, scared, and unsure. People inside the building walked past, warm and dry, not knowing what choice the twins had just made. Inside, somewhere above them, a billionaire was about to see his wallet again. But what he would see next would change his life forever. And it would make him cry. The rain fell harder now, tapping on the glass walls of the tall building. Marcus and Malik stood outside the entrance, water running down their faces and clothes. The cold reached their bones, but neither of them moved. Marcus still held the wallet tight. as if letting go would change everything they had decided. Minutes passed. Each one felt long and heavy. People inside the building walked by, holding coffee cups, laughing softly, checking their phones. No one looked at the twins. To them, the boys were just shadows outside the glass. Malik shifted his weight from one foot to the other. "Marcus, I don't like this," he whispered. "We should go." Marcus shook his head. "We already came this far." The security guard returned. He opened the door just enough to speak. "Come inside," he said. His voice was calm, but his eyes were still careful. "And don't try anything." The twins stepped into the building. Warm air hit their faces. The floor was clean and shiny. Their wet shoes left dirty marks behind them. Marcus noticed a woman looking at them with fear before turning away. They were taken to a small waiting area near the elevators. The guard pointed to 2 chairs. "Seat. The owner is busy." The owner. The words sounded heavy. Marcus and Malik sat down. Malik hugged himself, trying to stop shaking. Marcus looked at the walls, the lights, the paintings. This place felt like another world. A world where hunger did not live. Time moved slowly. Upstairs, in a quiet office, the billionaire sat alone behind a large desk. His name was Raymond Hale. He stared at city lights through the window, his phone pressed to his ear. His day had been full of meetings, arguments, and problems. Money came easy to him, but peace never did. He ended the call and stood up. As he reached into his coat pocket, his face changed. His wallet was gone. Raymond searched again, faster this time. Desk, chair, floor, nothing. "Unbelievable," he muttered. His heart beat faster. The wallet held important cards, private information, and memories he never talked about. There was a knock on the door. "Sir," the security guard said, opening it slowly. "2 kids are downstairs. They found your wallet." Raymond froze. "Kids?" "Yes, sir. Homeless kids." For a second, anger flashed across Raymond's face. Then suspicion. "Call the police," he said without thinking. The guard hesitated. "Sir, they came on their own." Raymond paused. Something about that felt strange. He grabbed his coat. "Bring them up." Back downstairs, the elevator doors opened. Marcus and Malik stood when the guard told them to. Their legs felt weak as they stepped inside the elevator. The doors closed with a soft sound that felt too loud. Malik whispered, "What if he's angry?" Marcus replied, "Just tell the truth." The elevator moved up, higher and higher. When the doors opened, they walked into a quiet hallway. At the end stood a tall man in a dark suit. His face was sharp, his eyes tired. This was Raymond Hale. He looked at the twins and frowned. They were soaked, thin, and scared. Not what he expected. Marcus stepped forward and held out the wallet. "Sir, this is yours." Raymond took it without a word. He opened it quickly. Everything was there. The cash. The cards. Nothing missing. He looked up slowly. "Why didn't you take the money?" he asked. Malik's voice shook. "Because it wasn't ours." Raymond studied them closely now. Their faces. Their eyes. Their posture. Something felt strange, but he did not know why. "Do you know who I am?" Raymond asked. Marcus nodded. "Your name was inside. And you still came?" Raymond said. "Yes," Marcus replied. Silence filled the room. Raymond felt something tight in his chest. These boys had nothing. No home. No food. Yet they chose honesty. "Where are your parents?" he asked suddenly. The twins looked at the floor. "Our mother died," Malik said quietly. "We don't know our father." Raymond felt a sharp pain in his chest. A memory tried to rise, but he pushed it down. He turned away for a moment, walking toward the window. The city lights blurred slightly. "Wait here," he said. As Raymond walked into his office, the twins stood alone in the hallway. They did not know it yet, but the man behind that door was fighting emotions he had buried for years. And the truth that was about to come would change all of their lives forever. The office door closed softly behind Raymond Hale, but the sound felt loud inside his head. He stood alone, one hand resting on the desk, the other still holding the wallet. For a long moment, he did not move. He only breathed. The boys' faces stayed in his mind. Something about them felt wrong in a way he could not explain. Raymond opened the wallet again, slower this time. The cards were still there. The cash was untouched. But behind the cards, hidden deep inside, was an old photo. He had not looked at it in years. The photo showed a woman smiling weakly, holding two small babies wrapped in the same blanket. Twins. Raymond's throat went dry. No, he whispered to himself. That's not possible. He sat down heavily in his chair. Memories he had locked away came rushing back like a storm. A young woman. An argument. A bad night. His hunger for success. His choice to walk away. And then the news, years later, that she had disappeared. He had told himself the babies were not his problem, that they were better off without him. He stood up again, breathing fast. His hands were shaking now. Outside, Marcus and Malik waited in the hallway. The carpet felt too soft under their feet. The lights were too bright. Malik kept rubbing his arms, trying to stay warm. They're taking a long time, Malik whispered. Marcus nodded. I know. A door opened. Raymond stepped back into the hallway. His face looked different now. Pale. Serious. His eyes were fixed on the twins, as if he was seeing them for the first time. Come with me, he said quietly. The twins followed him into the office. The room was large and silent. A wall of glass showed the city below, glowing with lights and rain. Raymond pointed to two chairs. Seat. They sat. Raymond did not sit. He stayed standing, his back to the window. How old are you? He asked. 14, Marcus said. Both of you? Yes, sir. Raymond nodded slowly. Where were you born? Malik answered. Here. In this city. Raymond swallowed. Do you remember your mother's name? The twins looked at each other. Her name was Lena. Marcus said. Lena Brooks. The name hit Raymond like a punch. The room seemed to spin for a second. He grabbed the edge of the desk to stay standing. Lena. He had loved her once. Or, at least he thought he had. Raymond turned away, pressing his forehead against the cold glass of the window. The city lights blurred again, but this time he did not fight it. A tear escaped his eye, then another. Behind him, the twins sat frozen, confused and scared. Raymond turned back slowly. His voice was low and broken. Do you know who your father was? Malik shook his head. Our mother never talked about him. Marcus added, she said he left before we were born. Raymond closed his eyes. That was true. He walked to a drawer and opened it. Inside was an old medical file. He pulled out a paper and stared at it. His hand shook more now. He walked toward the twins and knelt in front of them. A billionaire on his knees in front of two homeless boys. What I'm about to ask you, he said, is very important. The twins nodded slowly. Do either of you have a small mark? Raymond said. On your left shoulder? Marcus's eyes widened. Malik slowly pulled his wet shirt down from his shoulder. There it was. A small, dark birthmark. Raymond gasped. His chest tightened. He felt like he could not breathe. That mark, he whispered. Both of my sons had it when they were born. Silence filled the room. The twins stared at him, their minds racing. What are you saying? Marcus asked carefully. Raymond's voice broke. I'm saying, I think I am your father. The words hung in the air like thunder. Malik stood up suddenly. No, he said. You're lying. Marcus stood too, his heart pounding. If you were our father, we wouldn't be on the street. Raymond nodded, tears falling freely now. You're right, he said. And that is my sin. He reached into his wallet and pulled out the photo of Lena and the babies. He handed it to them. The twins looked at the photo. Their mother, younger, happier, holding two babies that looked just like them. Malik's knees felt weak. Marcus's voice shook. Why didn't you come for us? Raymond covered his face with his hands. His shoulders shook as he cried. Because I chose money over my family, he said. And I have regretted it every day since. Outside, thunder rolled across the sky. Inside the office, a truth buried for 14 years had finally come out. And none of their lives would ever be the same again. The room felt too quiet after Raymond's words. The sound of the rain outside and the distant traffic below felt far away, like another world. Marcus and Malik stood frozen, the photo still shaking in Marcus's hands. Malik was the first to speak. His voice was sharp, full of pain. If you are our father, he said, then why did we sleep on the street last night? Raymond had no answer that could fix that. He stood slowly, his face wet with tears. Because I failed you, he said. There is no excuse. Marcus looked at the photo again. Their mother's smile hurt the most. She died, Marcus said quietly. She worked 2 jobs. She got sick. We begged for help. No one came. Each word felt like a knife. Raymond turned away, his hands clenched. I didn't know, he said, but even as he said it, he knew it was not enough. He had chosen not to know. He had buried the past under money, work, and power. Malik laughed once, a dry, angry sound. You didn't know because you didn't want to. Raymond nodded slowly. Yes. Silence returned. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Finally, Marcus spoke again. Why now, he asked. Why does it matter now? Raymond took a deep breath. Because you came back, he said. You had every reason to steal from me. But you didn't. That showed me the kind of men you are becoming. Better men than I was. Malik shook his head. Being honest didn't save our mother. That broke Raymond completely. He walked back to the window, looking down at the streets where his sons had been living. The same streets he drove past every day without looking. I can't change the past, he said, but I can tell you the truth. He turned around. I left your mother because I was afraid, Raymond continued. Afraid of responsibility. Afraid of losing my career. I thought money would protect me from regret. I was wrong. Marcus felt his chest tighten. So you just erased us? Raymond nodded. I tried. Malik's fists tightened. Well, you failed. We survived without you. Raymond walked back to them and sat down, not as a billionaire now, but as a broken man. You did, he said, and that is why I will not force anything. You owe me nothing. Marcus and Malik exchanged a look. For years, it had been just the two of them against the world. Trust did not come easy. What happens now? Marcus asked. Raymond thought carefully. Now you decide, he said. You can leave. I will not stop you. Or you can stay here tonight. Eat. Sleep. Be safe. No promises beyond that. Malik looked surprised. You're not trying to buy us? Raymond shook his head. I already tried buying everything else. It didn't work. Another long pause. Marcus looked at Malik. Malik looked back. Hunger, fear, anger, and hope all mixed together. We'll stay, Marcus said slowly. But just for tonight. Raymond nodded. That's enough. He picked up the phone and made a call. Prepare 2 rooms, he said. Food. Clothes. Quiet. When he ended the call, he looked at the twins again. I will sleep here, he said. You can lock your doors. Malik raised an eyebrow. You trust us? Raymond gave a small, sad smile. You trusted me with my wallet. A staff member came to guide the twins away. As they walked down the hallway, Marcus looked back once. Raymond was still standing there, watching them like he was afraid they might disappear. Inside the room, warm lights turned on. Clean beds. Hot food waiting on the table. Malik sat on the bed, overwhelmed. This feels unreal, he said. Marcus nodded. It is. But sleep did not come easily that night. Across the building, Raymond sat alone in his office, staring at the empty chair where the twins had been. For the first time in years, his success felt small. Outside, the storm slowly passed. But inside that building, a much bigger storm had only just begun. Morning came quietly. Soft lights slipped through the tall windows of the luxury rooms where Marcus and Malik slept. For the first time in many nights, there was no cold floor, no loud traffic close to their ears, no fear of being kicked awake. Still, both boys slept lightly, as if their bodies did not trust comfort. Marcus woke first. He sat up slowly, looking around the room. Clean walls, soft bed, fresh clothes folded on a chair. For a moment, he thought it was a dream. Then everything from a night before rushed back. The wallet, the office, the man who said he was their father. Malik stirred and opened his eyes. We're still here, he whispered. Marcus nodded. Yeah. Neither smiled. Down the hall, Raymond Hale had not slept at all. He sat in his office chair, jacket off, tie loose, staring at the city as the sun rose. The lights of the buildings slowly faded. For the first time in his life, the view did not make him feel powerful. It made him feel ashamed. He remembered Lena's laugh, her anger, her strength. He remembered the day he walked away, telling himself it was necessary. He had built an empire on that lie. A knock came at his door. Raymond turned. Kumain. Marcus and Malik stood there, freshly washed but still cautious. New clothes hung on their thin frames, not yet feeling like theirs. Raymond stood up slowly. Good morning, he said. No one answered. I made breakfast, Raymond added, unsure. If you're hungry. Malik crossed his arms. We're always hungry. They followed him to a dining room filled with sunlight. A table was set with food they had only seen through windows before. Eggs, bread, fruit, warm drinks. The twins sat. For a moment, they only stared. Raymond sat across from them, but did not touch his food. Eat, he said softly. Please. They did. At first slowly, then faster. Hunger won. No one spoke. The only sound was eating and the city waking up outside. After a while, Marcus wiped his mouth. What happens after today? He asked. Raymond took a deep breath. That depends on you, he said. I won't make decisions for you. Malik laughed bitterly. You already did. 14 years ago. Raymond nodded. You're right. Silence again. I've had lawyers look into the past, Raymond continued. There were records. Hospital files. I ignored them. That was my choice. Marcus felt anger rise. So why should we believe anything you say now? Raymond looked him in the eye. You shouldn't. Not yet. That honesty surprised them. I want to earn the right to be in your lives, Raymond said. Not with money. With actions. Malik leaned forward. Like what? Raymond thought carefully. School, he said. Counseling. Stability. Time. And if you decide to walk away, I will still support you. Marcus frowned. Why? Raymond's voice broke slightly. Because I owe you more than I can ever give. The twins looked at each other. For years, every adult had failed them. Promises meant nothing. We're not calling you Dad, Malik said. Raymond nodded. I wouldn't expect you to. We're not forgiving you. Marcus added. I understand. But, Marcus continued slowly, we won't go back to the street. Raymond's chest tightened with relief. You won't, he promised. That afternoon, Raymond took them outside, not in a luxury car but on foot. He walked the same streets they knew too well. People stared. Some recognized him. Most did not recognize the boys. This is where we slept, Malik said, pointing to a doorway. Raymond stopped. He looked at the ground for a long time. I'm sorry, he said again, but this time it sounded different. Deeper. They walked to a small shelter. Kids looked up as they passed. Raymond watched Marcus and Malik talk easily with them, sharing smiles and quiet words. These kids trust you, Raymond said. They don't judge us, Marcus replied. That night, back in the building, Raymond made another call. Not to a business partner, not to a lawyer, to a foundation. Open the shelters earlier, he said. Add beds. Add food. Start tonight. He hung up and looked at the twins. This is just a start. Malik studied him. We'll see. As the city lights came on again, something small but real began to change. Not forgiveness, not love, but the first step towards something better. And for the first time, Raymond felt that his wealth might finally be used for the right reason. Days turned into weeks. Life did not change like magic, but it moved forward one careful step at a time. Marcus and Malik were given a small apartment near the city center, not inside a palace, not hidden behind guards. Raymond wanted them to feel normal, not owned. The first morning there, Marcus stood by the window, watching people walk to work. This feels strange, he said. Malik nodded. Too quiet. Raymond arrived later that day, not with gifts, but with papers. School forms. Medical checkups. Counseling schedules. This is not a contract, he said. You could stop anytime. Malik smirked. You sound scared. Raymond did not deny it. I am. School was the hardest part. On their first day, kids whispered. Some stared. Others laughed at their old habits, the way they stayed alert, the way they protected each other. Marcus almost walked out at lunch. Malik grabbed his arm. We survived worse, he said. At night, they talked less and thought more. Anger came in waves. Some nights, Malik dreamed of their mother and woke up breathing fast. Marcus sat with him until it passed. Raymond respected their space. He came by once a week. Sometimes he spoke. Sometimes he just listened. In counseling, the truth came out slowly. The twins spoke about hunger, fear, being chased away, being invisible. Raymond sat across from them and heard everything without interrupting. One day, the counselor asked Raymond, "Why do you stay?" Raymond answered, "Because leaving is what I'm good at. I want to learn something new." Outside those rooms, Raymond's life also changed. He stopped attending useless meetings. He visited shelters without cameras. He listened. One afternoon, He walked into a shelter and saw a boy no older than 10, holding his sister's hand, both of them shaking. It looked too familiar. Raymond knelt. "Are you hungry?" he asked. The boy nodded. Raymond felt something break inside him. This was the life his sons had lived while he sat in comfort. Back at school, Marcus surprised everyone by joining the debate club. He spoke clearly, strongly, about fairness and choice. Teachers listened. Malik found his place in art. He drew the city as he saw it before. Dark, sharp, cold, and slowly added light to the corners. One evening, Raymond came by with takeout and no plan. Malik looked at him. "Why are you still here?" Raymond answered honestly. "Because every day you let me stay is a gift." Marcus studied him. "Do you regret us?" Raymond shook his head quickly. "No, I regret myself." That night, they watched the city from the balcony. No guards, no distance. A news report played on a neighbor's TV. It spoke about new shelters opening, new funding for youth programs. Malik looked at Raymond. "That's you, right?" Raymond nodded. "It should have been done years ago." Marcus spoke quietly. "You can't fix everything." "I know," Raymond said, "but I can stop running." A letter arrived one afternoon. Old records confirmed what they already knew. DNA results. The truth on paper. Raymond did not celebrate. He placed the letter on the table. "This doesn't change your choice," he said. Marcus read it. Malik did not. "Maybe it doesn't," Malik said, "but it explains a lot." Weeks later, at a school event, Marcus stood on a small stage and spoke about honesty, about how one choice can change many lives. In the crowd, Raymond listened, tears in his eyes. After the event, Malik handed Raymond a small drawing. It showed 3 figures standing under a streetlight. No faces, just shapes. "This is us," Malik said. "Not perfect, but still standing." Raymond held the paper like it was priceless. Trust was still fragile. Pain still lived there. But something real had grown between them. Not forgiveness. Not yet. But respect. And sometimes that was the hardest bridge to build. Months passed, and the city moved like it always did, busy, loud, and full of strangers. But for Marcus and Malik, life had changed in ways they never imagined. The cold streets, the hunger, and the fear had slowly faded. In their place grew something new: safety, opportunity, and hope. The twins were standing on a small stage at their school auditorium. Chairs were filled with students, teachers, and a few parents. This was their first real public recognition, not for survival, but for courage, honesty, and perseverance. Marcus adjusted his tie nervously. Malik shifted his weight, glancing at the crowd. Both felt a strange mix of excitement and fear. Raymond Hale sat in the front row quietly. He was no longer the distant billionaire they had feared or ignored. He had become something fragile and real, a father trying to repair decades of absence. He did not clap or cheer yet. He just watched, heart heavy and full. Marcus stepped forward to the microphone. His voice trembled at first, but he drew a deep breath. "We were poor, hungry, forgotten by most of the world. But we were honest. We made a choice to do the right thing, even when it was hard." He paused. The audience was silent. Teachers leaned forward. Students stared. Malik continued beside him. "That choice changed our lives. It didn't give us everything. It didn't erase our pain, but it showed us that honesty, courage, and hope can make even the darkest nights brighter." A soft murmur ran through the room. Raymond's chest tightened. He felt a tear escape his eye, but quickly wiped it away. These words were theirs, not his. They had survived without him, yet he had watched their strength grow. The principal stepped forward to present awards. Marcus received recognition for leadership. Malik received recognition for creativity. Both smiled shyly, shaking hands with adults who had once overlooked them. Cameras flashed. Friends clapped. The twins finally felt a sense of belonging. After the ceremony, Raymond approached them. He knelt to be at their eye level. "You've done more than I ever could," he whispered. "You've made me proud in ways I don't deserve." Marcus looked at him cautiously. "We're still angry," he said. "Don't think this fixes everything." "I know," Raymond said, "and I won't pretend it does." Malik handed him a small notebook. Inside were drawings of their life on the streets. Rainy nights, broken shoes, the small victories they had claimed for themselves. "We survived," Malik said softly, "and we remember everything." Raymond held the notebook close. "And I will never forget," he said. "I promise." That evening, the three of them walked through the city streets together. No guard, no distance, just father and sons, slowly learning how to be a family. The city lights reflected in puddles. Street vendors shouted. Cars honked. Life went on. But for them, something had shifted. They had crossed a bridge from survival to trust. As they reached their apartment, Raymond stopped. "You've given me more than you know," he said. "You've taught me what I lost and what I can still be." Marcus and Malik exchanged glances. Trust had grown between them like a fragile plant. Slowly, carefully it would bloom. Later that night, the twins sat by the window, watching the skyline. Malik held a sketchbook. Marcus scribbled notes. They were planning, dreaming, imagining. Their mother's memory lingered, painful but inspiring. Raymond knocked softly on their door. "May I come in?" he asked. "Yeah," Marcus said. "Just don't say too much." Raymond smiled faintly and sat on the edge of the bed. "I just want to watch you both dream," he said. "It's the first time I feel like I'm really part of your lives." Malik looked up. "You're part of it," he said simply. "But you have to earn it every day." Raymond nodded. "I will." Months turned into years. Marcus graduated with honors. Malik's art was displayed in local galleries. Raymond continued to work, but now with a heart aware of what really mattered. He helped others, opened shelters, and invested in programs for kids who reminded him of his sons. He still struggled with guilt, but he learned that action could heal more than words alone. One evening, as the three of them stood on the balcony of their modest apartment, looking at the city below, Marcus said quietly, "We were poor, scared, and alone. But we survived, and we stayed honest." Malik added, "That honesty gave us more than money could ever give." Raymond put his arms around them both. "And it gave me a second chance," he said. "A chance I don't deserve, but will never waste." The city lights twinkled, reflecting in their eyes. They had been broken. They had been tested. And together, they had become something stronger. Not just a father and sons. Not just survivors. But a family. And that night, for the first time in many years, all three of them slept knowing that honesty, courage, and love could truly change lives.